Hi everyone, I'm Cricket from Cricket Store Decor. Today I'm going to teach you how to make a everyday wreath with a Dollar Tree frame and 2 rolls of 10-inch deco mesh. And we're going to use 4 ribbons. We're going to use 2 1.5-inch ribbon and 2 2.5-inch ribbon, and this grandkids welcome parents by appointment sign, which is really cute. So let's get started. And I'm going to wire the wreath form just like you would one of those, you know, work forms that you buy with the ties already on them. So we're going to get some pipe cleaners. I'm going to use these beige colored ones. And you're going to need 18 of those. There's 18 ties on a work form. So we're going to do 10 on the bottom and 8 on the top. So there's the 18 for that, and then I'm going to need 4 for my sign. And 1 for the bow. Okay, so for the sign, I'm going to take these things off the back first. I just rearranged my whole craft room, so now I don't know where anything is. So let's see. It's my little Cricut scraper. Get the price tag off the back. Everything that I buy, I put where I bought it from and the price. Even my mesh. I don't know if you can see that, but it says the price and where it's from. There we go. So that I can price my wreaths later. So I'm going to keep that. And we're going to cut these off here. Oh my gosh, I can't find anything. It's over here, that's why. We're going to cut that string off. And we're going to use a stapler, if I can find it. And we're going to staple pipe cleaners to every corner. Got to bend it in half and find the middle and then just staple it on. What this stapler is, you can find at Home Depot. And it uses 1/4-inch staples so that it doesn't go through these signs and come out the other side. You don't want that to happen. It's a really nice stapler. It does, it's not hard to push. It's not electric or anything, you know, you don't have to plug it in, nothing. And I will link it in the description box. Okay, so that's done, and we're just going to put that to the side for now and wire our frame. Okay, so I'm going to start on one of the crossbars here. And just twist it, give it a good twist. Now, these pipe cleaners are from Hobby Lobby, and they're very, very strong. I really like them. so we've got two going directly across from each other. So we're going to turn this and go directly across on the opposite side. We want 8 on the top. We'll go directly across from that one. And then what we're going to do is go in between each one of these. Directly in the middle of them. So that will give us 8 on the top, spaced out evenly. In my last video, I think I did a different method, and I think today I will teach you another method that I use. And it still gives you a very full wreath. I have several different methods that I use, and I guess it really depends on the frame that I'm using. On what method I'm going to do. Okay, so now we have 8 on the top. So I'm just going to pick a spot on the bottom. And I'm just going to start off with this crossbar here. And what I do is measure out 4 inches between each tie. So we'll just do that. We're going to go 4 inches. And we're just going to do this all the way around the wreath form until we have 10 on the bottom. Okay, so now we have our 10 on the bottom and 8 on the top. So we're going to put that to the side. Okay, so next we're going to cut our 2 rolls of 10-inch deco mesh. And I think for this method we're going to do both rolls at 30 inches. And this over here, that's my mesh roller. My husband made that for me. So we're just going to take both pieces of mesh together and we're going to measure out 30 inches. And we're going to cut, we need, let's see, 9 of each. There's 18 ties and we need 9 of each color. So we're going to cut 9 cuts at 30 inches. Okay, so we have quite a little bit of mesh left over. So what I'm going to do is cut nine pieces at about 8 inches. And we'll use those to make little curls. Okay, and that should about use all of your mesh. Like I only have a little bit left on this one. But sometimes I use a little bit of this to put underneath the bow to kind of help it sit up higher on the wreath. So we'll see if we need this in a little bit. Okay, so on to adding our mesh to the wreath. Okay, so now we're going to do a crofel method, which is normally probably the only method I use unless I use 21-inch mesh and I do poofs, but then I always do crofels on top. So what we're going to do is just, let's put something heavy on this side, but you're just going to roll it in. Now this is 30 inches, so we're going to roll it a little bit more, maybe 4 or 5 times. And then you're going to get yourself a little clip and clip it. And we're going to turn it around and do the same thing. You're just going to roll it. And that helps hide the cut edges. And then we're just going to push our thumbs right here and walk our fingers up. And it's going to give us a nice little purple where it looks like a bow tie. And our edges are hidden under here. And we're just going to pick a spot here and start. Make that nice and tight. And I'm going to alternate colors. And just go around the whole bottom and top of the wreath with the same method. Clip. And then push and walk your fingers up. Scrunch it as you go along. And just go into the next tie. And you're kind of going to take these two ends together and put them up against each other like that. And you're going to do the same thing all the way around. I'll do it one more time. Alternating colors. I rolled it about 5 times for this one. There we go. Same thing, you're going to pull this side up, kind of push them against each other. This is a very thick mesh. This is that wide weave. This green one here. I want to push that down. It's very thick. Get it as tight as you can. So that's what it's looking like, and I'm going to finish the bottom, and I'll be right back. Okay, so now we have our bottom done, and I'm going to do the same exact thing for the top. These are all cut at the same length of 30 inches. So again, we're just going to take this, let it how it naturally rolls in on itself. And you can see how the cut edges, see the little pieces coming off there. When you use this method, you don't have to worry about any of that because it all gets tucked under there. So we're going to roll it about 5 times. Give it a clip. Turn it around. Two, 3, 4, 5. And then we're just going to squish and walk our fingers up. Get that little bow tie going on. And we're going to start on the top row. Now you can do whichever you choose. You can do the top first, the bottom first, whatever you like. Same thing. You see the edge here where I cut it? How it's all shaggy? It's all going to be tucked under there. I'm going to clip it. I do not wood burn my mesh. I don't see the need for it when you use this method. I honestly believe it's a waste of time. And time is money. And there we go. We're just going to continue all the way around the wreath. You're going to kind of, you know, butt those ends up against each other there. And we'll continue to go all the way around and I'll be right back. Okay, so we finished the top and this is what it's looking like now. Now, I have the rest of the rolls of mesh that I've cut at 8 inches. And we're going to make little curls with these. So you're just going to roll this one completely in. Like that. And you can either put it in the opposite color or put it in the same color, and I'm gonna just put it in the same. It just adds a little fullness and doesn't waste the mesh, although I use my leftover rolls for my evergreen wreaths. Just stuff my evergreen base, so they never go to waste. But so that's all we're going to do. We're just going to add an extra curl to each one. And you're just going to do that all the way around the wreath. And you're just going to keep going all the way around the wreath until we're done, and I'll come back. Okay, so we've finished our whole base. Got all the curls in, all the cruffles in. And we're going to put that to the side for now. And, I mean, it's a pretty thick wreath. Oh! It's a pretty thick wreath. Right now it measures about 25 inches, and with the ribbon tails in, it'll probably come out to about 26 inches. So let's put that to the side and start on our ribbon. I normally cut, excuse me, 9 pieces of each ribbon. I alternate 2 in each tie. I use one 2.5 and 1.5 together in each tie. And so I kind of decide where I'm going to put my bow, and in that spot I don't put any ribbon. So I cut 9 of one set of ribbon and then 8 of the other. So for this set here, we're going to cut 9. And I'm cutting them at 13 inches. This is an acrylic ribbon board, which is really helpful. Your ribbon just slides right off it. So we're going to cut 9 of those. And if you don't have a ribbon tail board, you can measure out 13 inches on your cutting mat, or you can take a piece of cardboard, measure it at 13 inches and wrap it around that. I'm going to dovetail the ends, and you just fold up the sides of the ribbon and cut towards that folded edge. Just like that. And there you go. We got 2 pretty dovetail ends. I'm going to do that the same for all the ribbon. You want to make sure they're all lined up at the top, and then fold them in, cut up towards the fold, cut off any of those little wires sticking out. Yeah, let's see, this one's going to go with this. So we're going to cut 9 of these as well. And here, if you don't have a ribbon tail board, you can measure out 13 inches on your thing, on your cutting mat, fold it, and then just keep folding until you get however many you need. I like to use my ribbon tail. And like I said, if you don't, you know, if you're just starting out and it's not in the budget for a ribbon tail board, you can make one out of cardboard, or have your husband make one, or your partner, whoever, out of a piece of wood. That's what I did when I first started. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. And I'll show you the one that I have in cardboard. See, this is what I did. I just cut a piece at 12 inches. That's all you gotta do. But again, these are cut at 13. These are 13 inches. It's very rare that I use 12 inches, except maybe when I'm doing a pancake wreath or something. I always use 13. I'm just going to dovetail all of the ends. And again, that's personal choice as well. If you want to angle cut them, you can do that. It's totally your choice. Okay, so we're going to do the same thing for the other bundle, but this time I'm going to cut 8 of each instead of 9, because in one of those ties, we're going to put a bow. And I don't want to waste ribbon by putting, you know, ribbon tails underneath the bow that you're not going to see. 4, 5, 6, 7, and 8. And then you just pick your scissors and go underneath the whole bundle of ribbon there inside, and just cut straight across. And then you're going to fold these and cut up towards the fold. See how that's a little, and we want to make sure that these are all even, so you get a nice even dovetail on each ribbon tail. One more. This is a 1.5 inch ribbon. Again, we're going to cut 8 of these. It's going to go with this one. This ribbon here is from Sam's Club. One of my favorite ones, and I use it a lot. We are almost done here. Now, when you're pairing up your ribbon, you can do it however you choose. I'm going to do opposite colors, like this. I mean, you can keep them all together in the same color scheme, you know, the same colors if you want to, and alternate. Like, say you want to put the green in the beige and the white in the green, I mean the beige and the green, you can do that. I'm gonna mix them, and then because I have green here, I'm gonna put this one in the beige. And the beige on the bottom, I'm going to put the green. But you do you. Do it however you want. So we're going to pair our ribbons together here and get them ready for putting them on the wreath. I'm going to put this away. And again, there are several different ways you can put the ribbon in. You can crisscross your ribbon like this and scrunch it up the middle. You can lay it directly on top and do it like this. Or what I like to do is lay them at the bottom and scrunch up the middle, and then they're kind of already separated like that. So that's what I'm going to do. And you're just going to pick a tie here. We're going to go with the beige because the green is on the bottom. Can't find my tie. There we go. And you're just going to lay it down in there. and twist it very tight. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, about 6 times. There we go, and then we're just going to cut off the excess and tuck it in. We're just going to take it and tuck it down underneath the ribbon so you can't see it. And there we go. And then for the next one, we'll do the beige and the green. Just walk your fingers up the middle there and gather it in the middle. And go into the next tie. He keeps walking away from me. Cut off the excess, and you're going to tuck it down underneath the ribbon. Okay, and we're just going to continue to do that all the way around the wreath, and then I'll be back. Okay, so as I'm finishing up the top, I want to show you, because we only cut 8 of one ribbon bundle and 9 of the other, so you're going to be short 1, okay? And that's where we're going to put our bow. So I wanted to just kind of show you. I'm almost finishing up the top here. And we're going to skip this one because this goes in that color over there. So we'll have one spot that will not have any ribbon in it. So we're all finished there. And this spot here has no ribbon. And if you'll notice, this is kind of sunk down in there. So what I'm going to do is take a piece of this mesh here. And I'm just going to roll it in. This was left over from the 2 rolls of mesh that we used. And I'm going to just put another piece in there. Just to help it stand up a little bit. So our bow doesn't sink down into the wreath. And I'm going to cut off this tie because we're not going to use it. We're not putting ribbon tails in there. Gotta kind of help our bow stay on top. And now we get to make the bow. So we pretty much completely used 2 whole rolls of mesh, nothing really wasted. All right, get our bow maker. So let's see. I'm going to start off with the green. And dovetail my ends. I know some people use different ribbon in their bows than they do in their wreaths. I'm not one of those people. Ooh, that one didn't come out very well, so we're going to recut that. There we go. I like to use the same ribbon. So let's see. We're going to do about probably a 12-inch tail. I want it to flow kind of on the wreath. So we're just going to measure out our 12 inches. Going to gather it here and just put it down in here. And then we're going to twist our ribbon. I know this is a solid and it doesn't really matter. They're both the same on both sides, but I twist no matter what. And I'm going to go about 6 inches and twist again. And another 6 inches. And we're going to have another 12-inch tail. And you're going to dovetail the ends again. Okay, let's go in with this one. So we're going to use both 2.5s on the bottom. I'm only doing 1 loop on each side. Going to keep the tail the same. 12 inches. And we're going to twist so that the back side of the ribbon is facing up and the pretty side will be on top here. And I'm going to bring this in about 1/2 inch. I'm going to do it about 5.5 inches. And the same with this side. Tail is going to be the same at 12 inches. Fold it over, dovetail the end, and then we're going to go in with the green check here and just alternating the colors. Going to keep all the tails the same length. And we're just going to go in 1/2 inch each time. So the last one was 5.5. We're going to go down to 5. Cut our tails again. And then we'll go in with the polka dot. Same size tail. Give it a good twist. And since that one's 5, we're going to go down to 4.5. And I am going to add one ribbon that I do not have in the wreath. I do like to add, you know, either a 5/8 or a 7/8 on the top, but I don't have one in these colors, I don't think. No, I don't. So, we're going to go with this scalloped edge beige and green one. Probably have just enough left on here to finish off this bow. And these I like to cut on an angle. The scalloped edge ones. And these I'm not really gonna, well, I guess we'll keep them the same length. And you're gonna twist again. And I'm gonna bring this one down to 4 inches. Let's see, yeah, we'll do 4. And that's it. I'm just going to cut those on an angle. And then we already had our pipe cleaner out. We're going to use a zip tie. And go underneath all the loops there, all the ribbon. And we're going to pick it up. And you see that crease right there? That's where we want our zip tie to be. So we're going to push down with our fingers and make sure that zip tie is in that crease. And then take your pipe cleaner and put it in the back before you tighten it up. And then we're going to fluff all of our loops up. Pull our tails down. And then we're going to give it a nice pull so it's really tight. And then cut off the zip tie in the back. So now we have our bow ready. And we're going to put our sign on now. And we already prepped our sign in the beginning. So I am going to put my bow right here. So I am going to put my sign right about here. And I use these little yarning needles. Oh, what are they? The little plastic needles. You can buy them on Amazon. They come in a pack of, I don't know, like 50, 20, 50, something like that. But they're pretty cheap. And they help a lot getting your pipe cleaners through the mesh. And I just go right through the mesh. I don't move anything except the ribbon tails, but you're just going to go straight through the mesh. And kind of feel with your fingers underneath for those wire bars in the back. I'll show you in a sec. Let me just, the bow's going right there. So we're just going to flip that over, and then we're going to tie it on here. Just twist it around the metal bars, and we don't want to make it too tight yet because we want to make sure that the sign sits right and it's exactly where we want it. So we're not going to cut anything off yet either. All right, and I'm going to start on this side. Over here. Get my ribbon out of the way. And again, I'm just feeling for those wires underneath so I have a place to tie it. And then we'll fix all our ribbons in the end. And it does take some practice getting these signs on right. It really does. They always come out wonky or whatever, but that's why we don't tie them or cut anything off yet. Oops. may go too far to the right, too far to the left, too high, too low. All right, again, we're just gonna wrap it around a metal, you know, one of the metal bars here. I'm gonna kind of look at it and see where we are. And I know my bow is going here, so it looks pretty good. Just pull it a little. All right, and we'll just continue on. I'm gonna move my ribbon tails out of the way for a second. You can actually do both of these at the same time too, if you want, which I'm probably gonna do, just to speed this up a little. I'm gonna pull it through. And find one of these bars here. And wrap it around. And you don't want to pull that too tight either, because you don't want your sign sinking in your wreath either. You don't want that. And we got one more to go. Let me find all my ribbon and get it out of the way. Yeah, that one can go. And again, we're just going right through the mesh. We don't want to like move the mesh too much. You don't want to disturb it. You don't want to play with it too much. So we're just going to go straight through it. Find that bar and just wrap it around. All right. So now I'm going to fix my ribbons since it's a giant mess now. All right. So there we have that. Again, you'll probably have to adjust the ribbon tails 100 times. And we're going to put the bow on. And the same thing, I use the needle. And we're going to go, well, I don't need the needle for this actually. I'll show you. Where we had that tie there for the mesh, I'm going to take the 2 pipe cleaners and just go around that area. If you need to use the needle to get through the mesh, you can. I use the pipe cleaner that was already there, that we put our mesh in, and I just kind of go around that. And see how it's kind of sitting in? It's sitting on top now. You don't want to pull it down too much, or it will sink in your wreath and it won't look very good. And we'll fix that after, but we're just going to tie it around the bars in the back. And after we're all done, we'll go around and cut off all the extra pipe cleaners on the back. So let's get our bow straightened out here. You're going to pull all your tails down. And fluff up your loops here. much it. And these you can curl if you want. You can pull your loops any way you want them. I could play with this forever, but you get the idea. That's it, guys. We're pretty much done, other than adjusting and fixing our ribbon tails. And it comes out to, oh my goodness. Wow. With the ribbon tails, I would say it comes out to about 27 inches, almost 28 inches. Almost as big as the ones I make on the wreath forms. And there we go. All done. So if you have any questions, feel free to, leave them in the comments, or you can message me directly. I'm on all the socials. I'm on TikTok, I'm on Facebook, Instagram, and you can shop all my wreaths on Etsy under Cricket's Door Decor. And if you'd like to support my business, you can give me a like, give me a subscribe. It's free to help my channel, and it really does help a lot. So I hope you enjoyed the tutorial, and I'm going to try to put more out in the future. So stay tuned. Thanks, guys. Bye.